Building and Grounds Committee meeting September 9th, 2024. Mr. McGlasha?
Here.
Ms. Roy?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. McGlasha.
Thank you. Committee meetings are broadcasting live. To access the stream, there is a video icon located in the online meeting agenda, and a link is located on our district website, Facebook, and X, formerly Twitter. First up is monthly work order status report. Mr. Cagnaletti.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All right. So, let me make sure I get it. There we go. All right. So if you look, if you look above, you're going to see the numbers have drastically went up. We broke a record. Normally, we're hitting about 80 to 100 work orders a month. And this month, they put in 294 work orders. We completed that. This was before, it was like 10 days before I had to run the report, but as of all of August, 258 work orders were completed out of 294, which is very, very good. It was very, very high demand. So if y'all, anytime y'all see these guys in the field, please show them, hey, we appreciate everything that they do, because we couldn't do it without them. And then as you see, I broke everything down on the per school and per craft, as always. Any questions? Right now, we're having a lot of roof leaks that we are addressing. So if you get a lot of phone calls, we are addressing the majority of them throughout the district.
Any questions from the board? Any comments?
I would like to just
Ms. Pollard?
really, really appreciate the walkthroughs that we, did at the three schools.
Yes, ma'am.
Plaquemine High, Crescent. Heck, where else did we go?
Iberville.
Iberville, right.
Yes, ma'am.
I should know that. That's my alma mater. Okay. But it was very, very insightful,
Yes, ma'am.
and appreciate, all of the directors and principals and your staff you and your staff to give us some insight. When I visit schools, I look at stuff, but I don't know the ins and outs of all of the mechanics of what's going on here and there, and
Yes, ma'am.
the plumbing and all of that. So I really, really appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think it was, I can't wait for the next one
Yes,
on
ma'am.
the 18th, right?
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Right, yeah.
And you see a lot of more positive attitude towards the teachers, staff members, and everybody, throughout the school district, not just the maintenance guys, but the teachers and staff are, a lot more positivity has been seen because they see the stuff that's getting done.
Yeah.
And we will continue. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, as the saying goes.
absolutely.
And so we're here to make it better each and every month. And we're doing it. These guys are working their butts off.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Dr. V?
There's a lot that y'all know because we text when we've got stuff going on or email. But our maintenance department, led by Mr. Cagnaletti, they have been Johnny on the spot. We've dealt with issues from the end of July on just to get HVAC systems running. We've had trees falling, knock out power. We've had power go out with poles falling in parking lots, and then the HVAC systems aren't working right. We had water coming in through a drain last Friday at a campus, and but kudos to our janitorial staff, our maintenance staff, under the direction of Mr. Cagnaletti and Ms. Miller. I can't thank Evan enough. There's not a Saturday or Sunday or holiday that goes by that he's not on one of our campuses. So thank you for that dedication and commitment because it's kept our schools open.
I told you I love chaos, and I got plenty of it now.
Absolutely. Listen, we went visit
That's right. That's what he told me. He said, well,
Crescent.
you ready?
Right. Crescent and Iberville Elementary. And I'm looking on here at each school, 185 work orders at Crescent, 178 at Iberville Elementary, and there's still so much to be done. And so you got a big job. I hope we can get you some help soon.
I got Mr. Josh. That's my right hand. He's something.
Good. But also, I looked on here, locks and keys, delivery and security. We looked at some things that need to be fixed. I hope we can bring some of those things to the forefront and get some of them done rather quickly rather than later. But appreciate your hard work, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to upgrade that lock and key stuff like we talked about in our walkthroughs, and you can fill everybody in as y'all talk amongst yourselves. And it's kind of the next path that we're going to go to. We got to get away from these, hard keys. It's time.
Absolutely. Any more questions, comments? Okay. Next up is the long-term project planning list.
All right, so let's start off with Crescent Elementary. I got it at 95%. We were chasing our last leaks at the time. We finally finished everything. Everything's been cleaned up. We were installing a sod. Everything got approved. We're not going to be able to do that this week because of the rain coming and the storm coming, so we will continue to do that. As soon as this passes, probably next week, we'll start laying down some sod. That way, it helps the campus, and it kind of makes it a little cleaner on areas that need it, and while the grass that we hydro-seeded takes place. All right, that is the cafeteria, is the condenser water line. Let's go to the cafeteria renovations. Concrete was poured inside, setting forms an outside slab at the time of the report. It was poured. Ceiling grids have been installed. You will start seeing HVAC ducts installed, lights are being installed, and framing of the exterior of the interior of the wall for the separation between the kitchen and the cafeteria area. HVAC mini splits have arrived, and we'll be installing them shortly. Cooling tower replacement, 95%, punch item list only. And with that, waiting on the 3 revive, that was 100% done. Startup, you'll see this on multiple ones down here. It's a startup owner's training. And what that is, it's the company that installs everything, that does our systems. They get with me and Josh, and then we go through how everything works, how everything starts, and make sure it's compatible with the system we already have in place. All right. Any questions at Crescent before we go? Okay. All right. Cafeteria at Dorseyville. As you all will, we talked about it last time. We got some issues with the sprinkler water system that we're working through. Austin Fire is getting us a report that tells us exactly how big of a tank we need, what kind of pumps we need, and that suffices the pressure that we need for the school. Until that comes in, we will not be able to put a plan together until we get all the information. It should be coming in shortly, so hopefully by the end of this month we'll have that and we'll go forward. But the painting is ongoing, finishing the sidewalks and paving. You'll see it. Lighting is being installed on certain areas. HVAC duct is on site and being hung, but it still can't be hung fully because of the sprinkler system piping that still needs to be hung on the roof. Painting is at about 60%. Outside awning, it was about 30% at the time of the report. Outside panels and the trim are being installed, and I think they should be done by now. And then the last one, the roof work continues. And what this is the torch down on the low roof. It should tar stuff that they got to heat up and spread out so to prevent any leaks. East Iberville Elementary and High School cafeteria recoating of the roof. We're still looking into after we get through the storm system. I'll have more information on it. Rekeying is what we talked about earlier. We're going to go. We're looking at different options. We're going to try to upgrade, so we're going to get away from these keys. Everybody and their mama can make a key now, and it just, everybody has a key, and you can't stop them. They have a key and they got a card reader, they're going to use the key. So what we're going to do is try to get away from the keys and go to a different kind of system, and there's multiple different options out there. We could just try to use the best one, more efficient and price-wise for us. Field house. All right, the field house, Brad's stuck in traffic. He's going to be here shortly, but I'm going to fill you in as much. No, Brad Gabriel, I'm sorry. Yeah, so right now the brick was being installed. They had about a quarter left to do. The roof was being installed the panels on top were being installed. It's about 30% complete. East side of the side paving is finished. They still got some other touch-up things to do. The electrical is roughed in, continues. It's about 30%. Installing HVAC system, ductwork's about 40%. Grading on site still needs to be addressed pretty extensively. And then after that's addressed, they can start forming and pouring the other side of the concrete, which is kind of towards the front of the school, and it's by the track and the football field. Cleanup's ongoing. We still have issues with this. We're still addressing it as needed, but we're still on it every week. I mean, we're out there every week pushing them to get it cleaned up. Substantial completion is to be determined, but we're making it as quick as possible. Iberville Elementary, condenser water line, again, 98%
Ian.
complete. Punch item list is wrapping up some things. They should be finished, if not next week. Oh, I'm sorry,
I
Wednesday.
wanted to ask you about the hot water heater and the gas.
It's,
The hot water heater and the gas
The hot water heater.
MSA.
at MSA.
At, what's that?
At MSA.
MSA, the hot water.
The band room.
The band room.
Oh, yes, all right, so everybody has checked it again. Everybody has cleared it, that is not harmful to anybody. We've installed a gas monitor and a carbon monoxide monitor in that room, and it has not gone off yet. My guys go every morning and check, because they come across the river, and they check. When everything's closed and nobody's in, they cannot smell anything. The alarm's not going off.
Okay.
If you open that back door, you're gonna get that smell. There's a what's it called, a flash off, overpressure, but it's about 10 feet from that door, but the wind is funneling it. You cannot open that door. We've blocked off the fresh air vent that's right there, so the smell doesn't get in. But as of right now, we've done every test, every measures to make sure everything is safe for anybody who goes in there. And if it's not safe, that alarm will go off on carbon monoxide and gas.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the best we can do as of right now.
I went there and visit,
Yes, ma'am.
before you came back y'all came and fixed it.
Yes, ma'am.
The smell was in the room. It wasn't on the outside. It was inside the classroom.
Yes, ma'am.
So the fire chief came and checked it, and I think
Yes, ma'am.
he decided, from what I understand, it was the hot water heater that was causing the issue.
We changed out all the hot water.
So we got a new hot water heater now.
Yes, ma'am, and you still,
Okay, and I'll make another visit over there to see if I smell it,
yes,
because
ma'am.
I was the one that.
Please do, and that's why we changed the hot water heater. A couple people were like, I still smell something. Well,
Because the complaint started the summertime.
yes, ma'am, and then we put in this.
They went up
this
until the
meter.
time I went over.
Last week, we installed a meter, and so far it hadn't gone off,
Okay,
and that's the only.
thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
But we did make sure that nothing is harmful. It's a smell, but it's not harmful, because if it was, the parts per million would go off and set the meter off.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Iberville Elementary, condenser water line, again, we're doing some punch items. We do need to do the checks and balances, but we can't do them until the new exchanger comes in. And let me explain. So we were gonna do the temporary exchanger. Temporary exchanger is not gonna happen anymore because the cost was not equal. It was $7,000 a month to do this, or more, $7,000 to $10,000 a month to do this. A new exchanger to put in that place would be less than the cost to hydroblast and clean and rent the thing. So the cost was not weighing out. Just to clean, just to give you all a little insight, just to pull it and clean it was almost $70,000. A new one, $80,000. Makes no sense, right? So we went ahead, we're getting a new one put in. They're in the process of going through all the paperwork right now, and you'll see it, Mr. Stewart, you'll see it come through. As soon as you see it, I'll make sure we push it through and get that in here. Take the old one out, put the new one in, everything should be good to go. All right, gym floor and repairs. Reached out, we talked about this last time. I'm still waiting on one other person to agree on everything. I reached out back to the company that originally did the plan. Also, I reached out to the number 2 guy that put in for the bid. The number 2 guy said, Evan, he can get customized wood that'll fit that, because you cannot find this basketball floor anymore. They don't make a 2.5 inch by a 2.5 inch wide by 1/2 inch thick. You have to get it custom made. The company did reach out to me and said, I can custom make it, but I have to go back to the first bidder and see if he can custom make it. If he tells me he can't, then I can move towards the second one. That way we're still in public bid works or public bid law, right? That we're not overstepping anybody. We're giving everybody a chance, apples to apples. As soon as that happens, I'll let y'all know. I'm kind of glad it didn't happen now because we got the rain, so we might get some rain in there. Hope not, because we got a good looking pond in the back, and we'll see if it works. Intercom system, that's to be determined this year. PO has been issued, and the material has been ordered. Northerville Lights, Northerville High School, I'm sorry, extending the fence is done. The lights, elementary lights, we're still looking at. We had some awning repairs to do over there, Miss Pam, and because they had a little accident, so we're gonna look at sprucing up that place a little bit when it comes to the awning, since it is damaged a little bit. Okay. Condenser water. I got a
One more
call.
thing before,
I'm sorry.
today I had, one of the councilmen that I work with in Grove State asked me, and I don't know, I haven't looked at it. They said when they were at the ball game Friday night, it appeared that two of the lights on the near the elementary school
Okay.
were turned the wrong way, facing up. Have you noticed?
Is this on the football lights?
On the football lights. Okay.
I called around and we found out that they're meant to be that way. They normally only put them on baseball fields, but it's for punts that are real high or
Oh.
long passes that are high or kickoffs. And it's normally for pop flies on a baseball field. That way you can catch the ball in the air, but they're supposed to be up there. That way you get lighting up there so you can see a ball from height.
I was there and never noticed that they were turned, so.
We actually discussed that at the game on Friday night because there was so much rain happening, water was puddling on them. But there's two tiers. So the bottom tier is pointing up for those purposes. The top tier was pointing down, so it's dropping light into the bleacher area.
Evan, want to ask you, since we're talking about MSA West.
Yeah.
I've heard from some employees that we're having trouble with the badges to certain doors.
Yes, sir.
And that the company that we used to, I guess, connect these badges or whatnot, we can't get in touch with them. We can't fix. It's a problem at MSA. Have you heard that?
So I do not do the badges anymore. That's not in my department. That's more on security. I have been working with Ian and James on that. I will get with them on it. It may be something as simple as the person that's having trouble, or the many people that's having issues. Either the card reader just went out because we pre-programmed everything across the district and it didn't get encapsulated with the reprogramming, or the badge itself wasn't put on a list for them to get upgraded. That's going to be Mr. Ian or Mr. James Walker's issue, but I'll follow up with it. We'll get
Please do. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I got something, Evan, also. Whatever happened with the greenhouse at MSA West?
We still, it got prioritized, below. We'll come back to it later in the future.
Is money allocated for that or no?
Is what?
Is money allocated in the
I
budget
have
for
to check
that?
my list. I don't have it with me right now, but I'll get back with you on it.
I don't think it's in the current budget. It was in the budget, from what I understand, from many, many, many years ago. But we are working with LSU Ag Extension, with Farm to School, and Greenhouse is part of what we want to see happen at several locations.
All right, back to condenser water line. At North, everything looks good. I talked to the guy today. He's going to come out this weekend, and he got one more leak he has to address, a very small leak, but he will be addressing it. Cafeteria renovations, everything's looking good over there. Walkway and awning is in progress. You'll see it is right now, it's a temporary awning. I think we're about to start and finish up the final awning that's going to be there that we added. Installing the FRPs on the wall. Setting steel, framing continues. It's about 90%. Plumbing needs inspection on it. It's almost done inside. The electrical roughings are complete. The equipment, exhaust fans coming on 8:30, and the concrete is being poured. A new building at Building G. Barrier fences installed, staging equipment, materials. You will start seeing they did break ground and they're starting to work right now. Everything looks good. Removing the grass and start dirt work as soon. And we are having our not a ribbon cutting, groundbreaking on September 18th. Is that right? Yes. All right. Do-do-do-do-do. Plaquemine High. Plaquemine High, you'll see we do have some painting that's going to happen soon. Let's let this weather go, and then we'll get some good weather, and then we'll start painting the issues. And with the issues I'm talking about, it's very visible from the road. After we did the hydroblasting on the stucco, it happened to take off some of the stucco coating, so we're going to just recoat that situation. We did have some issues the last football game that Tate and I talked about, and it was the parking. We restriped it this weekend, so we shouldn't have any more issues with the parking in the kind of towards the basketball area and the football where they park for the football game. There was some lines that shouldn't have been there, and they were there. So we went ahead and restriped it, got it looking good. That way there's no there's miscommunication, and there's no hazards anywhere on that one.
That work that has to be done, is that gonna be done internally, or do we have to
What is that?
outsource any of that work?
What is
Like
that?
the painting?
The painting, for the Plaquemine High, the rooftop?
Yeah.
That's gonna be external. Yes, man, it's a lot. You gotta have so much equipment, scaffolds, and if they can do it, yes, man, it's gonna have to be done external. We don't have time to do it, no, man. And then we can warranty that work. All right, new gym at White Castle. If you haven't seen it, it looks great. If you wanna see it, please let me know, and I will either escort you or I'll have somebody escort you. We've been having a lot of just people in the community, just kind of walking, freelancing, and wanting to see it. They're excited. No problem, but they need to let somebody know to walk them through the place or just walk them on the exteriors. We cannot have anybody randomly coming on a site that is trespassing. And if they do get hurt, we are liable. If anything is damaged, we are liable for that too. But right now, the gym floors, I know some of y'all have seen the floors. They look beautiful. They just polished it for the first coat of polish on it. Gym floors are being installed and nailed down 100%. Light fixtures are being installed in the lobby 100%. Kitchen food exhaust installations about 80% of the time of the report. It's probably at 100% now. Metal wall panels and trim installed at about 95%. Drywall finished. Lobby's 85%. Ceiling frame 75%. And the cement back block installed in the restrooms. And the CMU walls under the low roof 100%. CIA building, just to let y'all know, your air's back on. He is coming back to shut it back down next week, but that's okay. It's on right now. All right, multi-campus, the Plaquemine High Chillers, that is all complete. We're waiting again on owner's training with Josh and I to go through everything, and that should be wrapping up sometime next week. HVAC system assessment, we talk about that. That's just continuous ongoing. We're replacing as needed. Anything that's over 10 to 15 years old, we will look at and possibly replace. All right. All right, where we at? All right, so the press box at White Castle and East Iberville. White Castle, it's going, everything's up except the windows. We do have it tarped, so there's no chance of any rain. We're all gonna look at it again tomorrow, and we may have to put some temporary plywood up so nothing really comes in there and blows out all the good work that we already done, because the sheetrock is up. At East Iberville, the windows are in, and they look good. And the building itself looks great. We still got some structural work to do on it to get us in good graces with the fire marshal at both sites. But as of right now, everything's moving forward. We will finish up shortly. This weather's kind of pushing us back a little bit, but hopefully this weekend they'll make it up. And then next week we'll start finishing up.
Are they gonna put a emblem on the back of it?
I have to check with the architects. I don't know if that was taken out, but I will
They had
find
one
out.
at one time.
I will find out for you. Yes, ma'am. And that'll be on both sides. I'll find out for both sides.
Okay.
All right, visitors concession stand at both sites. The concession stands more at White Castle has been completed, less at East Iberville. There was a miscommunication about when they can start after they did discover the pipeline underneath it.
So we're working through that. It should start pouring concrete next week after the rainstorm comes. And then hopefully when that concrete is poured, we can start going over walls, and it shouldn't take them long much after that.
Okay.
And is there any questions? I know I said a lot, and we got a lot going. So if there are any questions, please let me know.
Any comments? Okay, thank you, Mr. Cagnaletti.
Yes, sir.
Next up on the agenda, discuss and approve permission to advertise North Iberville softball field and complex. Budget $700,000. Can I get a motion? Motion by Ms. Roy, second by Ms. Williams. Any comments? Any questions? Pam?
So I was looking at the price it is versus the price of the baseball field, and I was wondering, what is the difference? Is it a building or something that's included?
Yes, ma'am. So it's not just the field. That's why we put the field and complex. Brad? We're building restrooms and concession stands for both baseball and softball. So you have the restrooms in the middle, boys and girls, and we're going to put it in between the two fields where you can service it from either site. I don't know if you got the picture up there.
I couldn't figure
And
it out. I
then
tried.
each of them will have a concession stand on the outside part where you have a girls' concession stand for softball and a boys' for.
Okay, I was just wondering because there was such a price difference, and I was like, I couldn't figure out what was really
And then
going
there's
on.
also equipment sheds too for the baseball field and softball field as well. So that's another thing that's an add-on there as well.
Okay,
That way they can
so-
put their rakes, drags, diamond dry, top dressing, anything you need to maintain a baseball and softball field.
All right, so I know we had this question about baseball. Is there gonna be a water line back there for the grass?
Yes, so we got the meter put in already, and whenever they run it to them, they're gonna run both of them.
Okay,
We haven't ran it to the baseball field because we're waiting on doing this. We're gonna run both of them at the same time. But there is a meter in. We got the meter done 2 weeks ago, and it's a 2-inch meter that'll feed both of them.
all right, and so in this packet, does that include the scoreboard and the bleachers and the whole thing?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
We do have letter and logos on the press boxes.
Thank you.
Any more comments or questions? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. Williams, second by Ms. Roy. This meeting has adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.